Right, I'm Hendrik Gideonse from Brooklyn, Maine, which is on the southeastern tip of the Blue Hill Peninsula. And you all know that on the southwestern tip of the Blue Hill Peninsula is the Callahan Mine. I brought copies, but I'm not going to give them to you because I have heard a bunch of stuff that demands a response. And it's troubling to me because I've spent a lot of time preparing for this hearing. And frankly, I found important elements of the staff testimony and some of your questions to be misleading, misdirected, obfuscatory. I'm a little incredulous, and I think that's a terrible place to be after all these years of struggling with these issues, because we're doing this all over again, and in the larger scheme of things, sad to say, I feel not much has been learned by DEP or by BEP from the review processes to date. The original mining legislative proposals in 2011 were considered so briefly they might as well have been flown by the 125th legislature on an F-14. They were not adequately vetted by impartial professionals and scientists. Legislators quite literally did not understand what they had been asked to do. But last year, the lopsided 3-to-1 bipartisan majorities against the draft standards in both the Republican Senate and the Democratic House clearly showed they understood the mistake of 4 years before. Why can't you all see that? The profound truth, old technology, new technology, or even future technology is easily grasped. The mountains of powdered sulfite residues from mining must be protected from air and water in perpetuity. That is forever, as long as there are human beings in Maine. To not require such and or fail to achieve it exposes Maine and the public purse to the same risk of cataclysmic environmental disaster as last year befell Colorado's bright yellow Animas River. We've all seen those pictures. Crawford's covered memo to the proposed new Chapter 200 rules completely omits attention to the statute. But an unsound law can only mean unsound regulations. You can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. A year ago, a small handful of ordinary citizens like me clung to the review process, dug into the issues, maintained close contact with knowledgeable legislators like Ralph Chapman, who spoke with you before. A year ago, some powerful legislators were okay with exposing Maine to the risk. Others cynically advised us that we'd never be able to stop the regs, but we stood up to both groups, to the executive branch steamroller and J.D. Irving's expensive attorneys, and we changed a lot of minds. 3/4 of the legislature showed they understood the straightforward truth of the risks entailed. Very few are fooled anymore by the corporate greed driving a hoped-for windfall profit with the promise of only a small and very temporary employment boom at the public's expense of a perpetual threat to Maine's lands and waters. I have to ask you very seriously then, why is this coming forward now? What is it you hope to gain? Why have you learned so little from the failure to secure legislative approval? I can only suspect why, and I'm not going to engage in speculation. But this playing now a third time with the committed efforts of public advocates like myself and the grounded convictions those efforts produced in citizens and state legislators alike feels just plain disrespectful. I'm not ready to believe you intended that, but rest assured it is definitely motivating. Thank you for your attention. You've certainly engendered ours. I will send a redone version to address the concerns that I heard earlier. Thank you.